bottom side.
And Chovy playing a third unique champion. I think that Talia also the only one he actually had played already in playoffs. And the biggest gambit of them all, I think the previous ones really made a lot of sense. The Cassandra going to be very execution based. I do think T1 though have a composition that makes sense. You have a lot of roaming potential in mid. You have great setup for your Draven. You're going to try and play towards Guma, maybe in a Herald fight with that Gnar. Is that going to be enough to get this Draven to pop off, or is Gen G going to get the full sweep here? Not so sure after this draft.
Well, we'll have to wait and see who ends up doing the sweeping at the end of the day. Very interesting stuff once again from Gen G. Was this prepared? Was it a bit of ego in Game 3? We'll just have to wait and see how it does come out here, as a lot of comfort as well, even outside of the composition here on the side of T1. Draven for Guma, even Nautilus for Keria, something he always says he wants to play. Gnar once again for Zeus. And we'll just have to wait and see. Definitely the mid-jungle, I think we'll definitely have to take a closer look at to see if FAKER and Owner can get across the line, where it has felt like they have been a bit short in the first couple of games. As guys, it looks like we are just about ready to hop onto the rift for game number 3. Let's do it right now. All right, here we go. The battle of two wards. Well, it's actually more than that, as we are moving into game number 3.
Hey.
Gen G looking to complete the 3-0 sweep.
Top laners are relevant, okay, Velvet? You can't call them wards anymore.
I mean, are they?
No.
I don't know.
It's more relevant than it was, half a year ago.
True.
That's
Times have
nice.
changed.
It has increased. I'll echo the sentiment. It has been more relevant as of late. And Chovy, by the way, our exclusive resident Cassandra mid. Cassandra mid was played in other regions a little bit after release, but it was Chovy who played it specifically with AP junglers like Maokai and the Elise. And he's got a lot of experience.
All right, delaying a little bit of trouble. The Draven Nautilus already getting in there. The damage is being done early on. He's electing to continue trading as Ignite comes down as well. That is a very important Gleaming Quill. Any kind of healing you can get at this point in time is going to pay off, as Guma just takes some extra damage from the minions.
Yeah, and the irony as well, because outside of Chovy, the one guy who we did see play a ton of Cassandra, even I think getting a perma against him at MSI, was FAKER. Because we saw a lot of utility mids there. Nautilus was another one that I'm sure most T1 fans won't remember with that much fondness, but Cassandra was really good as Peanut. You want to play aggressive here as Draven Nautilus, are you going to get punished?
Here we go again. Feels like it's coming through. They're moving forward. Can they get the flashes? As Guma's just running away. They are going to get the one out of Keria as Bramble Smash comes in. The knockup as well. Keria in a bit of trouble. Can he get away is the question. The answer is no. First blood is Guma. Gets the first kill as well, but immediately gets taken down and pays. He's 2-0 again.
2-0 on the Neela. This is a huge problem. At least Guma's able to get that early cash in, although it is so minuscule this early into the game.
Gotta execute.
Yep. He probably will. As you see, Dorian trying to maybe get in flash range. Not going to happen. Execution comes through. Gets the blue buff. Immediately loses it. And I suppose that's not great.
Yeah, well, going to be also the loss of a decent amount of minions down here, especially with how Neela's passive works in terms of maintaining experience. This is going to be a problem. Now, notice how quickly Keria reacts. Watch how he goes straight towards Peanut here, trying to block him out from getting into range of Guma. Then flashes, of course, gets collapsed on here, and he commits for one further route. Really well played here by Keria, all things considered. Gets through there onto Peanut, and Guma commits to get the kill. Will flash and try to escape so he can make sure he gets Peas' flash in return. It's not a good situation here, but I think Keria played it about as well as he could have.
And the most important thing there is that, yes, you get the cash out, but you have barely built up any stacks at this point in the game. And it does mean Guma at least is able to get a bunch of long swords, but the attention paid towards the top side of, the bot side rather, of the map here really paying off as Owner will get spotted there. And spotted here again, Peanut, I think should be able to get this crumble seed.
He's trying to get in and smite it, and that he does. All right, Oner's going to get that at least, I guess.
He's taking a significant lead here, with that play bottom side. Gets 2 camps up, has a experienced lead, and he's trying to utilize it. Obviously, the early game with the ranged Gnar is winning out against Doran as well here a little bit. So Zeus having some power here top side. And you see the camps are continuing to be taken away by Oner. Best he can, get some deep vision up here too. So it's not all bad here for T1 in the early game. In fact, they have a slight gold lead.
Yeah,
we do have the cleanse. He's going to try to get away. Pace is moving through a ton of minions. It's going to have to back away. Now Chovy has Peanut right here. Once again, perfect timing. Oner might just have to flash this instead. Okay, he does right at the end. Thought maybe he was just going to elect not to, but he does get away.
Yeah, the thing I wanted to say, though, if you're trading an early gold lead on pace, although he did fall behind potentially in CS, Guma and Kara are still doing a good job in the 2v2. For a deficit on Peanut, like Genji's going to take that every single time. I have lost count of the amount of games where Peanut falls behind early. I'm doing quotation marks. You can't see this, but trust me, I am.
I can see it, yeah.
You can see it.
I saw it as well.
I'm committing to the bit because this guy has been incredible at building his way or finding his way back out of deficits so many times, and pace fed early, always going to be feeling good for Genji. But fortunately, Guma and Carrier, with the knowledge that Peanut is on top side, did get a semblance of control back in this lane. Guma will now be picking up a Sheen alongside his longswords as well.
Chovy gonna dodge the shove here. I'll be looking to hit 6 off of another minion. Faker got it first. Obviously, the Cassante can, if given the right position, use the pull through the wall to his advantage with Peanut. He's got subsequent lockdown. May force Faker to flash, for example, but there's a lot of really awkward places here for the Taliyah to try to get over these walls against this duo, especially once Peanut hits level 6. So something he needs to be respectful of. His ult not going to be impactful in lane, and with the prio that Chovy has, he might not be able to use it to impact bottom side either, at least not for now.
Oner kind of hovering down there towards the bottom side, but so is Peanut. He's going to be spotted first as they're looking for another play here. Still no flash, no cleanse on Guma. He's getting low, but they're turning this one around as they do have Oner waiting in the brush menacingly. Not doing anything for now, but he's still waiting to... Focus is going to come in. Delight holding on to it. Here's Oner. I don't think Genji had any idea, but now Chovy's coming down. They're looking to turn this one, actually, as some damage goes into Oner. And you see T1 just backs away. Meanwhile, Peanut's going to take a blue buff. Just stealing that one away. A small victory at the end of the day here for Genji.
Level 6.
Oh, level 6. Okay, they're just going to pull the trigger. His Oner's still here, but he can't do anything. It's Delight. He might even live. No, he gets taken out right at the end. It is a trade of 1-for-1, but it's still, again, Pays has, what is it, 27 kills right now in this series, 0 deaths?
And right there, Delight already had an experience lead, and in large part due to the passive, as they're not done yet.
And there's not much that Oner can do. I mean, he's so low as Apotheosis comes in. Pays is, okay, well, this is not the dive we were looking for. As Oner, he does get in, even with low health, and makes something of it.
Anyway, as we were saying, I do think that Delight's call there to give his own life to deny stacks the Draven, 100% worth. I think this composition from T1 kind of stands and falls by Guma being relevant, and instead Pays is getting further and further ahead, and the Draven is denied a bigger cash out, one that he's really looking for.
Exactly, so it's definitely a trade up, and the fact is, even 10 CS down, the experience advantage you're going to grab as Delight is going to give you 6 first, so you can commit to a play like this. And even in a 3v3, you always win this when you have this advantage, and Delight knows he's going to die if he goes in for this play. You also trust that his teammates are going to have the follow-up damage there, and then as Pays hits level 6, Peanut wraps back around. This one goes a little bit awry. Really nice route there from Carrier. Before the Apotheosis goes off, he then flashes away. He's able to survive there with Oner. The turret does most of the work.
And that does mean that when looking at the goal, T1 is still in a great place in this game.
All right, they're trying to get aggressive again. We just don't have time. The ult's going to be thrown into Pays, and now the Whirling Death can't quite get the execute. And Pays will survive, but it is Guma and Carrier pushing them finally. Feels like for the first time in a while out of this lane as now Q3 comes in, and Faker, he's got nowhere to go. The combo comes in. He doesn't even bother to flash. Okay, well, he is at the end of the day as now we have an ult coming through. He's just going all the way into the enemy jungle. Meanwhile, we do have this greatness being taken, and it does go over to Owner, as he will take it down. Another flash here as Owner is trying to survive, but can he, as the light says, all right, I'll press my R button. Somebody's got to do it. Meanwhile, up in the top side, we have another skirmish going on, a 1v1, as Doran will push Zeus away.
Wall or no, gonna see some value out of that Cassante in mid. We'll get Faker's flash and the ult. Only level 8 here, so that's on a very long cooldown. He does escape with his life, and once again, Faker shows he is just an escape artist here in our finals weekend. But ultimately, still huge advantage here for Gen G. It's very fortunate for T1 that Owner's able to secure the smite.
Yeah, that's the big thing, because if they also lose the dragon there, then I think it's a complete disaster. Now, still not going to feel too bad for Gen G, but Faker not actually going down, trading evenly in the flash.
Doran, Hyperbrock comes in, the boomerang just barely going to sail by. And Doran is going to get away, but he gets some top prio. No, Owner is going to get to work here on this Rift Herald.
It is really fortunate for Doran that he has teleport advantage here, so can come straight back to the top lane. But let's watch this play again here with Chovy and Peanut. Chovy, ideally, if Faker is a little bit closer, can pull him through that wall fully, so far away from his turret. The rocks are placed well here from Faker, and he's able to just barely, one auto away from death, get over this wall. And he also critically gets Peanut's ult out, because if Peanut has ult here, it's a much better fight.
We're just fighting again. It's just never-ending. Owner looks like he will pick up the eye, as we missed that a lot of times. And actually, Chovy gonna get taken out in the mid lane. That is going to be a takedown here to the side of T1. They also got that Rift Herald, so pretty nice.
As we see another collector first here, and Herald goes over to T1. They get a big kill on Chovy. Zeus might be in trouble here.
Well, that angle wasn't great, to be honest. Peanut's been great, but that angle was a bit sus, you could say. But it's going to be okay. They do get the teleport out of Faker, who is forced to go top.
Feels like a really nice win here, though, in terms of getting the teleport away from Faker. It's going to prevent him from punishing plays like this one here, where Pace is going to get further and further ahead, grabs another plate, and, you know, the last Nature's Grasp didn't quite catch Faker. The top one, they're not going to connect. But this is the advantage in terms of teleport that Doran had here that I was talking about moments ago. He can get back here faster. So, yes, Owner is able to rush this down and secure it, but he's going to die for it as Doran gets straight back to lane after was a near kill there on the top side.
We're just non-stop fighting. Doran gets away, seems pretty easy, but now Carry is out on the map. We see our supports really trying to make some game-defining plays. You know, Carry finally gets onto an engaged support. He's played so much Enchanter support. And yeah, we see the smite coming through once again. But yeah, it's nice to see now that Carry gets a chance here in the support matchup at least to show his stuff.
And has been making a big impact out on the map. When we get to the team fights, it's going to come down to the... However, Faker still in a pretty good spot, going for Leandri's as well, as we do have some people clumping up here towards the top side of the map.
Kuma's alone, and they know everyone's missing, so it's a really good read here from Gen G. They wanted to spring a trap, but T1 read it better than they did, but they don't hard commit. And with no Nature's Grasp, I think it's wise here for Gen G to back off, and they're going to try to push mid here instead into Faker. Herald drop topside.
I mean, he's got ult. I mean, they're just going to dive on in the Apotheosis. They kill Faker underneath the turret. No sums, no health anymore, as now this crash is going to come into the top lane. Zeus is trying to get something done, but here comes Peanut. It is Meganar, but the 2v1 might be enough to take down Zeus. They check the brush. They have that set up as a nice Nar does come in, but here comes the ult from Peanut, just chasing down Zeus as he flashes over the wall. As now just chasing him down the mini Nar, and he's not going to be able to get away. Peanut just taking the tower just for fun, and they will take down that kill.
And it's just constant fighting, constant skirmishing, but Gen G are trading up slightly each and every time. The Herald gets plate gold topside, but they get a pick onto Faker. Then the overextended Gnar is going to be Peanut's 4,000th assist, and topside here.
It was a good one.
Falling apart. Doran on this Jack's going to be a side lane threat. Gen G in such a comfortable position here, and Chovy is going to have some additional slows on this Cassante now with this item spike, the first mythic online. Or the first item, rather, his mythic online. This is going to be a tough fight here for T1 on the second dragon, but they do have Prio.
Also important, Zeus might be able to play off of Faker's wall as well. We'll see how they're able to split the fight. As strong as FaZe is, fighting for prio in mid with a Nila alone is really, really difficult, as we can see here. You still need to respect. It's a team fight that I'm more worried about when it comes to T1's chances. There is a lot of power in the CC, the follow-up of Faker and Zeus with these big, either the seismic shock or the capabilities of Meganar. But it does feel somewhat finicky, and if pace doesn't go down at the start of a fight, you're gonna be in deep trouble. But then you look at Doran, also in a great spot in this game. 2-0 here. Divine Summon, we're done.
If you can elongate these fights for the Taliyah to burn through with Leandri's, that's also another win condition. Then you could try to use those slower fights to give Nar the opportunity to go mega. He's going to just leave this lane here, not going to try to commit to grabbing a turret. Does have teleport, so could join the fight here. Gen.G better grouped, and that's always problematic when you have a Nila against you. T1 has to deal with that engage. He's not in position though.
The Meganar not here for Zeus. He's just coming on in. Jovi is way behind enemy lines, but Doran is here with him as well. Goes in, they lock down 2 people, but Guma's getting free hits into Doran right now. He's going to take him down with the help of Faker, and the damage is coming out now finally from the side of T1. They will push them off the objective and take down the Hextech tree.
And really big there, T1 catch Gen.G. Unaware, they're not ready. Jovi goes in, feeling I think the necessity because of Faker's wall, but pace wasn't there. So that was a 4 versus 5 in T1. They're gonna get the Dragon, putting him up to 2 with, by the way, a third Cloud Soul. Gonna get the top side turret. This game remains close.
It certainly does. First brick going over to T1. Now, as you mentioned, FaZe isn't here. They have Prio, but it doesn't matter if you don't have your engage here of the Nila. And while Chovy can get on top of Faker here with Doran, it's just too little damage here for the side of Gen.G. And the Gnar is such a big threat here, gets the hop off as well. And without the ability to front to back here, your Nila is really going to only win these fights when she starts them. It's just not winnable here. The Draven coming up big, but mostly here it was just very disjointed and sloppy from the side of Gen.G.
Maybe just, you know, the pace of the game so far has been very much Gen.G, determining them, going very hard here in these first couple of games in the beginning of Game 3. But maybe this time they stepped over the line and finally, for it feels like the first time, T1 have a lead in the series. They have the ability to potentially start to gain some momentum now in this game number 3.
And Guma sitting on about 270 stacks, I think, here still. Isn't really in that big of an item disparity if you look as well at what he has finished. Because he might have another fight. Doran nor Faker FTP.
Little play here on Icaria, who is being isolated, but the damage is not quite there as the depth charge keeps him alive for a while, but the Maokai ultimate just zones everybody else, and now Faker's getting soloed by a Jax as okay, maybe the escape artist does his work again, but you're still not going to win the fight as T1. They're pushed out of the river. They are pushed now out of mid lane as Gen.G try to gain back control of the game.
And we'll get this turret. I don't know about this. Doran's got flash?
No, that's the Leah. Don't do it. Don't listen to the voices, Doran.
No, no. And now the Herald is going to get taken here as well by Gen.G. And this time, FaZe is in position to contest this. Oh,
wow, okay. Owner, nice look. Gonna force that flash out of Doran, trading his own flash, but not able to take him out.
You get something at least here, but it's small. As you see, the gold lead is wildly varied throughout this early game, oscillating between about 1,000 apiece here. But T1, they need a team fight win here on this next Dragon. That could solidify their position to get out of this early game. Nila now has a second item online here. So look at this fight right now. Toby getting the knock up here onto the Sejuani, and then this fight is split. Keria does ultimately get caught, and Doran can block Faker out. He has no vision here in this bush, so he nearly goes down as well. Will be able to escape with that shove just narrowly. But a huge win here for Gen.
Yeah, does stay alive there. And that means that the play still nice for Gen.G. The main thing that I'm looking toward is how is a actual 5-5 going to look. Because here,
Faker once again doesn't have his flash. He's getting bullied now by Jovi. And even this Leandri's is not able to do too much as the all-out comes through, and that's going to be the end of him. This time, Faker is finally taken out. as they do put an end to his reign as the escape artist. Toby gets his first kill of the game.
The slows coming through, really doing a number on Faker, who's flashless from the last play. And there's just no way he can get out, and Chovy has just crushed him when they meet every time from level 1 in the lane. And it is just a really rough time here as T1. No real map control, only down a little bit in gold here. They still have those 2 Drakes to sit on here, but the Jax is really starting to become a huge side lane problem as this is Chovy's first person view.
I'm fighting top. We didn't get to see it because they're fighting again. It just never ends. As now, this is going to be base getting pretty low actually. The apotheosis is good, but Guma gets so much gold out of that kill on the base, and finally T1 are going to turn something around. Toby doesn't even bother TPing into that one. Maybe didn't have it, but a nice play from T1. We'll have to see how they got that one started.
And Guma ends up getting the shutdown there, gets the kill, gets his cash in, and Gen.G, second time in a row, caught unaware, and that might be Baron as well.
T1 trying to turn this into a Baron play here. They grouped here, and they should be able to take it. We'll have to wait and see exactly how that one all broke out, but without Chovy being there, and a bit of a rocky contest there, over no real objective. Gen.G gets punished. That's Baron. Let's see how this one started off as Gen.G are grouped here bottom side to Shadow Doran, taking out that bottom side turret, and then Peanut overextends here in the choke point, and then Hayes is caught by a Nautilus ult. Faker comes in from the opposite direction here with Weaver's Wall, and it was just Gen.G trying to hard force that Jax advantage bottom side, and they get punished in a big way.
Same spot, similar fight, the execution, not gonna happen, but Faker will get the job done, and now Chovy trying to run away, but here comes T1, the onslaught. They're finally getting some momentum in this game. Chovy now flashing away. Owner might put him into the grave as Chovy is still on the run. And it looks like he is pretty much done for. Zeus on the chase here, and finally he will go down. Zeus gonna pick up the kill.
I really think there is a very finite timer on how long Gen.G's composition can operate if they start to fall behind. And T1, they want more.
Oh, he's gonna get him in. Okay, the cleanse and the flash, but one room can do it. No, Owner gonna go pretty far. In goes Delight, gonna charm up 4 people. May need to pay for it with his life. And Zeus hits the Megalar. Respect Paige, but Paige will get taken out as Owner will set up that play alongside of Zeus as the push continuing to come in here from the side of T1, but Doran goes in, takes out Faker, but Guma is just free hitting right now, and is looking to take out Doran, will not be able to at the end of the day.
And Doran is going to make a heroic play here. They are going to be able to trade back some kills, but you can see even with good engage, even when Delight is hitting the multi-charms here, with this Cassante mid and Anila that's more engage and burst than actual sustained damage, you just can't win these longer fights when you start to fall behind. And once again, Gen.G trying to hard force. The reason why Gen.G are forcing these fights here, even without contesting objectives, is because they feel like they need to snowball this game further. But I would have rather seen them try to turn off of a Drake start here than try to force into a choke point against the range damage of T1. And then here, T1 push those advantages even further. Knows that when Delight tries to go for the turn here, there just isn't any follow-up damage. Pace is not a traditional AD carry here. You're running a Cassante mid. The follow-up from Doran, and this is going to be a really long replay. Watch the whole thing, but the follow-up from Doran here is at least heroic, and they're able to secure a kill back.
And even gets the flash out from Faker, flashing off to the auto, and somehow gets out alive. This Drake certainly going to T1. Will set them up for Soul Point here with Cloud Soul on the cards. And the mental fortitude of this team with their bot lane getting taken down. Level 2, Pace looking incredibly fed. Doesn't seemingly phase them. Now Gen.G not out of this game, of course. I think the Wombo combo going to remain very threatening with some of the more stationary targets on T1, but they are currently looking really good in this third game.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen that Wombo combo come to fruition just yet, and you can see the big difference in the AD carry role right now. Yes, Pay's more of a guy that's going to get these fights started or potentially follow up on a big engage, but now it finally feels like Guma, for the first time in the series, is allowed to carry. He's been trying so hard, and finally his team has made some space for him to get something done on his trademark Draven.
Yeah, coming back here, 3 items strong. after what was a very rocky early game. And Gen G, it starts to feel more and more desperate, the fights they have to take here. And if they lose control of the map, they won't ever have that turn opportunity I was alluding to on that last Cloud Drake. Because if you can't turn except for a Nila ult, if you're just walking towards T1, they have better range, they have a Taliyah, they can cut your team in half with the Weaver's Wall. They also have great engage, and with this Gnar, who's getting pretty tanky himself, Zeus is a secondary AD threat in these team fights. Carry is going to zoom around with Cloud Rift and try to maybe set up for a pick. I don't think they can do this onto a Cassante.
Yeah, definitely a big fight for Vision right now. We don't have Baron for another minute and a half about, but already the fight for Vision beginning as T1 not really able to put a big mark on the Gen G jungle for now, but certainly will have more fighting over that area of the map here as the Baron gets closer to spawning.
And pace, the pace of the game, I mean, not pace, the player, has really slowed down after really what can only be called friend, particularly for LCK standards. I've been very vocal. I don't think the LCK is as slow as it once was, but, you know, almost a kill a minute is still pretty proactive, as we will be getting a next fight here. I'm very certain that T1 is going to start this Baron Raider up as soon as they can. And the big thing for me, Guma has Flash, Cleanse, as well as a stopwatch. And shutting out this Draven is going to be the main goal here. And there is a lot of great backline dive from Gen G, with the Rakan, with the Nila, really anyone. But you have to get through Taliyah, and I think that Taliyah, Gnar specifically, with good management of the Gnar bar, can be a really big deterrent. Faker getting close to a death cap as well. And once that's finished, he's going to be able to solo carry fights if they overinvest into Guma.
Gen G have to hard force their way into this pit and have to look for the ability to start up this Baron themselves. And that's why, even though it's still a ways away from spawning here, both teams are fighting so aggressively for that vision, because the defender of the Baron pit will have a massive advantage with how these two compositions clash. And I think picking Guma alone won't be enough here for Gen G, because they have that Gnar, because they have that Taliyah. The light
nice
spotted.
Ward from T1, from Carrier, gonna spot him. That could have been pretty deadly. You know, Guma, he's got all these tools, but still a lot of tools on the side of Gen G to maybe get into that backline. They have indexed heavily into this dive composition.
The fight, if Gen G wins it, is very likely going to be over so quickly, as Chovy's role in this game has become rather ambiguous here, as he is a frontline, but not for a traditional AD carry here. He needs to just be big follow-up and additional slows on top of this Nila when they do decide to fight. And as Baron spawns here, T1 have control. Gen G not going to be able to start and turn, and the Jax in the side lane here is annoying, but he's not pressuring anything directly. He's actually just going to walk straight over here. Gen G really grasping at straws here a little bit, but they push them out.
And T1 are going to back out of the pit. Just give it on over. Maybe they're waiting for Faker spike or something like that. But now Gen G not wanting to go too far, but they're taking their own vision on the side of the map.
And obviously what T1 can do here is they can threaten the Baron, and they can easily give up the Drake. This one in individual not as important for them as...
Oh God, wait, Guma, wait, no! What's going on here? He has to cleanse and flash already just to get out of this, and the fight didn't even begin.
And with the Weaver's Wall fall-up, it looks like Faker maybe was trying to bait this with Guma, but it just completely falls flat. And now that tool is gone to contest Baron as well.
Oh, and they have no idea. They don't have the vision. They're getting in to Guma as he has to stopwatch, which is perfectly timed. Guma stays alive for a little bit, but not long enough. A massive Gnar into the wall. Zeus wants to carry this fight, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as the damage is huge here from the side of Faker, and it will not be a straight-up win to the side of Gen G, as now Zeus is on the chase. Can he get any more done here with the mini Gnar? He's looking for it, surely, as the boomerang comes in, but that'll be the end of that.
And you can see, even when Gen G have these really set up picks, there's a Taliyah, there's a Gnar, there's more than one threat in this composition for T1. Those health bars got so low. Zeus handled the dive so incredibly well with his Gnar. And we'll watch this one more time. Over the wall here comes Delight. They get the knockups here, and they're looking for instant deletion. The stopwatch timing here for Guma is perfect. It buys enough time here for the Gnar to come through. It's a triple, and Faker over the wall layers so much extra damage, and Pays, he's kind of done his job here. Now, you got to get out as Gen G. You can't kill this Gnar. You won't be able to chase down the Taliyah, so you can't control that Baron.
Pretty big there. His Faker keeps his positioning, and Doran instead opts to jump over. So Faker, if he had death cap, that could have been a possibly game-ending play, right? He gets the knockback, takes down a bunch of targets, but Guma not having a stopwatch, although he does get his GA, but no defensive summoners available still, I think, is absolutely huge with the amount of backline dive that Gen.G has.
Well, T1, they've gotten themselves to this spot. Can they challenge Gen.G in a straight-up 5v5 team fight where you're on similar conditions here? We'll have to wait and see, as it looks like it's starting up now. Peanut gonna throw in that ultimate. Owner in the back of the pit here. As the follow-up comes in, they're gonna get onto Guma. The damage is not quite there, but Guma's just not allowed to auto-attack in this one. Gets put into the GA, but FAKER is taken out, and Guma's just not doing damage. He's just dead the whole time. The counter-strike comes in, and it looks like Gen.G have done it. The engage gets into that Draven with no defensive capabilities, and now Gen.G will take down the Baron.
Huge here for Gen.G. They're going to get so much gold off of the play, and they've been behind the gold for quite some time. This should nearly even it up as the Baron goes over, just a little bit behind half a K. As you watch this fight, it's all about CC being layered on top of each other, as Gen.G will zone out the Gnar, and even though Zeus is able to avoid the Nature's Grasp, and Chovy's flash engage, then watch the follow-up here. You have so much AoE in this position. FAKER also jumped out of the fight and taken out 1v1 from Chovy, who flashed for the engage, and once Guma is out of this one, it's just an easy follow-up for the Jax. Double kill for Doran. That's the wipe and the Baron going over to Gen.G, the team that's in a 2-0 position in this grand finals.
And it all goes back to that play. Guma walking up to the wave. And I agree with you, I think with FAKER immediately using his wall there, that felt like a bait. But if he doesn't have his summoners, the rest of Gen.G will get on top of him. There's simply too many tools, right? This time it's Chovy, it can be Doran, but someone is going to get to him. And now the GA's gone for him. Won't have that available. Zeus will have his. But the gold lead that T1 had mostly evaporated, and we're looking at an even game again.
Yeah, I mean, if you get an engage, you get a dive as Gen.G, and you take out the damage, which is mostly FAKER and Guma. Obviously, Zeus exists, but if you take them out and you just don't allow them to do anything, and the dive composition works, in a sense, you know, you could even make that happen from down even farther gold than Gen.G was, and they're still behind in gold. The gold not really mattering too much here in this game number 3.
Another defensive Weaver's Wall here to try to slow down the Baron. Doesn't feel great to use them like this. Peanut's getting some cross vision here to make sure there's no flanks. They're still going to secure this turret. And T1 coming up empty again. Doran now with Demolish on this mid-inner. T1 are getting pulled apart by this Baron right now. The next objective spawning 3.5 minutes here, that Drake. Gen.G just want to get as much of an advantage with the last part of this Baron buff as they can here. An inhibitor would be huge for them.
This is getting interesting. Zeus just pushing forward. He's looking to get something going, and he might have just done it. The light gonna get hit with that ultimate, and now Gen.G are on the run. They don't want any part of this, but Zeus is looking to keep it going. The Mega Gnar coming in. He's gonna trap Peanut, as now finally they force that ultimate to come out from Peanut. Over the rocks goes Paze, and Gen.G say, okay, you've got us. You've stopped our push.
And Zeus trying to do as much as he possibly can. Going all out there on the movement speed, a lot of aggressive arrests, and it will keep their base alive. Yes, they still have to give up a mid lane turret, but that one was probably going to be gone. Gen.G maybe should be able to pick himself up an inner here as well, but with Zeus playing the way that he has, I don't know if you want to go for this.
I should be okay with Owner coming in, and now FAKER actually, who's got Exhaust, and is on the way. Also Smite is looking for an engage, but Chovy is so thick. I mean, he just takes so much damage, they can't do anything to him right now, even with Leandres, and now Gen.G gonna come over as Keria looking to join the fight. Some Counter-Strike, as man, these two are just battering each other right now with the action, with the engages from both sides.
It's an all-out brawl, but no one ends up going down here, and T1 trying to make something happen proactively once again around this Gnar, but they're unsuccessful. I still really feel like if T1 can protect their carries with summoners back up here for Guma now, there's a real world in which they could start a reverse sweep here if they win a critical team fight. And the next fight will be for this Cloud Soul here. If T1 win the fight decisively, take that soul, their chances do balloon. But man, Gen.G have been so decisive on these fights. The way that Chovy engaged last time, the way they're getting on top of Guma makes it so hard. But at least he has his summoners now. His GA is coming up here very soon as well.
The hard thing, I think, for T1 here is trying to regain map control against the Maokai. Because trying to actually set up for a soul fight or a Baron contest, which you're going to have to do, because this Baron, I think you got out pretty well. If the next one's going to fall as well, and Gen.G gets to shove in multiple side lanes with the threat of that, it's going to be feeling a whole lot worse. Actually trying to regain control is going to be tough. We do see everyone in Gen.G going for a back right now, and the opportunity is here for T1 to take control of this pit. Doran, a lone Jax, does have his defensive cooldowns as well as a Zhonya's available, but I think Gen.G now, with a fresh base, going to be making their way towards that dragon.
I like that T1 play around this Jax where they know that he has teleport and Chovy does not, so Chovy has to join. He's not going to be able to push topside here, and they actually are able to push Jax away and get control of this dragon pit here. Zeus building up his Narbar on the bottom side. This may be the last fight of the game here if one team wins it swimmingly, and that's basically how these fights go with the composition Gen.G has chosen here. T1, though, will give up control, and this spawns in 20 seconds.
Yeah, this Drake, I think you can just give up.
It's just one Drake, but what about one Gnar? Can you just give away one Gnar? Is that okay? Peanut's like, oh, he's still here, and he's got GA, I mean, and they even join into this one. This is Mega Gnar that is about to spawn, and yes, it does come in, but it's 5 members of Gen.G. Chovy gonna get stuck on the other side of that wall. Definitely delaying some time for Zeus to potentially get away. The damage is coming in. They really want that GA, if possible, as Rolling Death pulls in, and they're just getting in up to Guma, as now Carrion on the front line as well. Ingo's delayed, looking for that chart. He's going to pick up Guma in the back line, and now Chovy going to threaten all the damage in the back line, and so will Peanut and Doran. They just rip T1 to shreds in their own jungle as they get run around the map. And they will be taken out. Gen.G just absolutely dominating them here in this fight.
That's gotta be it! Hands off the keyboard for T1. We'll see the double teleport coming in. Everyone's still alive. We'll see if Owner can maybe clear the waves, but still 25 seconds on Faker, still 30 on Guma.
And it's a day of threes here for Gen.G. 3 different styles of composition, a 3-0, and the 3-peat!
The 3-peat is coming to life. Gen.G will do it once again. They take out T1 in an epically dominant final, and they take the 3-0, the 2023 LCK Summer Champions.
And on the theme of threes, in the shadow and following the footsteps